Welcome to Grace. My name is Stephen, and this is church. Being a pastor is a great job, or a great calling, I should say. But there is some challenges. When the challenges come, sometimes we just don't know how to deal with them. Many years ago, I was going through a time where there were things that just were not perfect. And as a leader, it's difficult to know where to turn or who to talk to. I'm happy, by the way, that I have a mentor now, so I've kind of solved that issue. But back then, I didn't know who to talk to. Counseling is really expensive, and I just didn't have the funds for counseling. But one day on my walk to McDonald's, which I'm addicted to, by the way, I passed a music store called Eglinton Music Center. I always wanted to play the piano. And so I opened the store door, and it was a very small store and seemingly nobody was in it. And then I called out, "Is there anybody there?" And slowly but surely, this older gentleman came to greet me. "Ah, a new student. What is your name? Are you Mozart? Are you Beethoven or Bach?" I said, "My name's Stephen." "Ah, I am Pasquale. How can I help you?" "Well, I want to learn the piano." And he took me into this room, and we played piano once a week. Once a week, I had a place that I was able to go to for, a small fraction of the amount that a counselor would cost, where I was able just to go and be myself. I'm not a great musician, and I never was going to be a great musician, and so that's not Pasquale's fault. I have no timing is what Pasquale would say. One day, Pasquale said to me, "Stephen, I just want you to know that I'm closing the store, but I'll keep you as a student. Why don't you come over to my house and have a piano in the basement?" And every week I would go over and I would go into his basement with his wood panels and these old pictures of Pasquale. And then I would come up, and Lucy, his wife, would make us coffee and some Italian biscuits and Italian desserts. Sometimes we'd go to the garden and he'd give me some vegetables. But once a week I had a place where I was able to go and form a relationship with somebody and be myself. And I'm eternally grateful for that. I mean, meeting somebody once a week, and especially when you're, meeting somebody once a week was a real privilege for me. And meeting somebody once a week where I didn't need to, be the leader, I could just be myself, was a real privilege. And Pasquale would always talk to me and share with me and treat me like I was a friend. He came to my son's baby dedication, and I actually went one year to his house on Christmas Day. I mean, you don't go to very many people's houses on Christmas Day. Recently, we moved to Mississauga, so I had to stop seeing him once a week. But regularly, I would say, Pasquale would call and just check up on me, make sure I'm doing okay, make sure I'm practicing the piano. Today I got a phone call, and I was happy to read Pasquale on the caller ID. So I picked up the phone and said, "Pasquale, it's good to hear from you." It was Lucy, his wife. "You won't be hearing from Pasquale anymore. He passed away." I know most people at Grace or at the Sharing Place never met Pasquale. But I promise you, he was important to myself and my family's life. It made a difference and made an impact. But what I want to say to Grace and to people who come to the Sharing Place is that I originally went to Pasquale because I just needed somebody to talk to. I couldn't do it all on my own. And many of you are trying to do things on your own and carry things that, God didn't even intend for you to do on your own. That's why we have this thing called community and church. And I just want to encourage you that starting this Sunday, the Church of the Nazarene is doing something called the Bereavement Journey. If you suffered loss of any kind, you could have suffered financial loss, job loss, physical loss. Maybe you lost somebody like Pasquale. You should be in that program. And what if you're addicted to something, like myself, addicted to McDonald's and Coca-Cola, and you've tried to break that barrier all on your own, and you can't afford counseling, so what do? Well, starting March 12th at the Sharing Place, we're going to do Life Healing Choices, an 8-week program that we invite you to, so that you can be part of community, and that, you don't need to carry that burden all by yourself. Pasquale, I'm going to miss you. I'm going to miss your accordion playing. I'm going to miss your advice in life. And I'm going to miss sitting around that table and having coffee and going out to the garden. But I want you to know that you made a big impact on my life. In the same way you took care of me, I promise that I'm going to try to take care of others. Thank you for giving me a place that I could just be myself once a week. I thank you. I miss you. And I can't wait to see you again.
The person that I lost was my mum, my best friend, my soulmate.
It dawns on you quite suddenly that life is never ever going to be the same again.
Everybody else was getting on with their life and it felt like I wasn't, and I wanted to shout at them. Do you know what's happened to me? Do you know I've lost my mum?
The worst thing that people ever did to us is say, well, here's the pattern of bereavement and you must be at this stage. And you'd think, don't you dare tell me where I must be. Everyone does this differently.
For years after, I was quite capable of bursting into tears. I told my friends and family they'd have to lump it. If I wanted to burst into tears, I would.
Journeying with others is incredibly important.
I recognise what a big step you've taken, and I hope that attending this course is going to prove really positive for you. My aim, travelling with you through these weeks, is to provide a place where it's safe for you to have a look at where you are, to explore your feelings, and just to be surrounded by people who understand where you are and what you are feeling.
I'm so excited that you've chosen to join me in this study, because really this series is about the fact that life is tough, and life is tough on everybody. I don't know anybody that life is easy for. We live in an imperfect world where we're hurt by other people, and of course we hurt ourselves and we hurt others. And none of us is perfect, so we've all blown it, we've all made mistakes, and the truth is we all need to find freedom and healing from the hurts and the habits and the hang-ups of our life. Now, if you've ever been hurt, if you've ever had a hang-up, if you've ever had a habit that you'd like to change in your life but you couldn't, then this study is perfect for you. Now, let me give you a little overview. Here's kind of an index to where we're going. The principles in this study can be summarized in the word recovery. Now, we need recovery in so many areas of life. National recovery, marriage recovery, financial recovery, health recovery, recovery from the hurts, the habits, the hang-ups of our life. And we need recovery in so many different areas because we get battered and beat up. But here's the good news. The good news is that regardless of the problem that you're facing, whether it's financial or emotional or relational or spiritual, or any of these areas, regardless of what it is, these same principles, these 8 healing choices that I call the steps to recovery, are always the same, no matter what your problem is. I've been a pastor now for over 30 years, and I have seen these principles work not in dozens or hundreds of lives. I've seen it work in thousands of lives. And these 8 choices are going to be the 8 sessions that we're going to look at together.